I killed my father with his own hands. Not the ones I was born with, but the ones fate, or whatever cruel joke the universe pulled, stuck me in after that rainy night in the ER. It wasn't murder in the eyes of the law. It was a heart attack, plain and simple, brought on by the stress of watching his empire crumble from the inside. But I know the truth. Every calculated move I made in his skin chipped away at the man who ruined me until his ticker gave out like an overclocked engine. You think that's shocking? Try this. I let my little brother rot in prison for a crime I didn't commit, all because Daddy Dearest framed him to protect his precious legacy, and now, swapped into his body, I'm the one signing the pardon that sets him free, just to watch the guilt eat him alive. Or how about the real gut punch? The woman I loved, the one who swore she'd stand by me through hell, was the one who dosed me with that experimental neural blocker during my routine checkup, trading my life for a shot at his fortune. Yeah, betrayal doesn't get more Shakespearean than that. It started 6 months ago, in the shadow of Chicago's Loop, where the wind off Lake Michigan carries the stench of ambition and regret. I was Jasmine Hale, 28, a mid-level farmer rep scraping by on commissions, hustling Botox and antidepressants to overworked docs in strip mall clinics. Life was a grind, shitty apartment in Wicker Park, student loans from Northwestern that felt like a noose, and a family that treated me like the disposable daughter. Dad, Victor Hale, was the kingpin of Hale Pharmaceuticals, a biotech behemoth that peddled miracle cures laced with enough fine print to bury you. Mom died when I was 10, ODing on their own trial antidepressants. Dad called it an unfortunate side effect. Bullshit. It was a cover-up, and I was the one who found her, blue-lipped on the bathroom tile, while he schmoozed investors at a gala. My brother, Ethan, was the golden child, 22, fresh out of Stanford with an MBA, groomed to take over the boardroom.
Me?
I was the afterthought, the girl who got shipped off to boarding school in Connecticut because I asked too many questions about Mom's accident. But Ethan, God, he was Dad's mirror image, all charm and cutthroat until the night he cracked. We were at the family estate in Oak Park, that sprawling McMansion with its marble floors and walls that echoed like a tomb. Dad had just forced Ethan to sign off on falsifying clinical trials for Viragen, their new opioid blocker that was killing users faster than it saved them. Ethan confronted him in the study, whiskey glasses shattering like his illusions. You're poisoning people for profit, Dad. This ends now. I was eavesdropping from the hallway, heart pounding, when Dad's fist connected with Ethan's jaw. My brother hit the Persian rug like a sack of bones, blood trickling from a split lip. I burst in screaming, "Stop. He's your son." Dad turned on me, eyes like polished obsidian. "Stay out of it, Jazz. This is business." Business. That's what he called framing Ethan for embezzlement 2 weeks later, cooking the books to make it look like my brother siphoned millions into offshore accounts. Ethan took the fall because he wouldn't play ball, and I testified against him. Not because I believed the lies, but because Dad whispered in my ear over a reconciliation dinner that if I didn't, he'd bury me too. Think of your future, sweetheart. Hale blood sticks together.
Lies.
All of it. Prison broke Ethan. 5 years in Stateville. Inked up and hollow-eyed when they paroled him last month. He came home a ghost, crashing on my couch, muttering about the switch like it was code for his snapped spirit. I got him a job at a coffee shop near the United Center, something mindless to keep the demons at bay. But me? I was unraveling. Nightmares of Mom's corpse, Ethan's pleas from the courtroom. Jazz, tell them the truth. They clawed at me. And then there was Lena, my fiancée, the one bright spot. We met at a pharma conference in Vegas. She was a neuroscientist with Hale, all sharp wit and curves that made me forget the family curse. "You're not your father's daughter," she'd say, tracing my collarbone in bed. "You're fire." I believed her. Until the clinic. It was supposed to be a routine MRI for migraines stress-related, the doc said. Lena insisted on accompanying me for support. The machine hummed like a coffin nail. And then,
Nothing.
blackness swallowed me, laced with whispers. Lena's voice, clinical and cold. Administering the neural sync now. Vital signs stable. When I woke, it wasn't in my body. The world tilted, heavy and wrong. I was staring at a chart from the gurney. Patient, Jasmine Hale, 5 feet 6 inches, 130 pounds. But my hands, calloused, veined like road maps, weren't mine. I lurched to the mirror in the recovery room, and Victor Hale's face leered back. 58, silver temples, jaw like a granite slab. What the fuck? The voice boomed, deep and commanding, but it was me inside. Lena burst in, eyes wide with feigned concern. Mr. Hale? The procedure. There was a glitch in the trial sync. Your consciousness, it merged with Jasmine's neural map. Merged? Bullshit. This was no glitch. Hale Pharma's black budget project. Project Echo. Body-swapping tech for the elite to cheat death or dodge justice. Dad had been testing it on volunteers, homeless vets, undocumented immigrants, zapping minds into donor husks. But me? His own daughter? I pieced it together later, rifling through my desk at the Gold Coast penthouse, Lena's emails to Dad, plotting the swap. She's expendable. Use her as the bridge to stabilize your transfer. Expendable? For what? Immortality? Or to frame me, now him, for the Viragen scandals before the feds closed in. I played along at first, stumbling through board meetings in a Brooks Brothers suit that hung like guilt on my frame. Victor barked orders, but inside, Jasmine seethed. Ethan eyed me funny over takeout lo mein that night. You seem
Off, Dad.
less of an asshole. I laughed it off, but the seed was planted. Revenge wasn't a spark, it was a bonfire. Step 1. Isolate Lena. I confronted her in the master bath, steam from the shower fogging the glass. Tell me why, Lena. Was it the money? The power? She froze, towel slipping, then smirked.
Yes?
No, wait, Victor? Oh God, it worked. She thought she could seduce me back into compliance. I let her try, whispering pillow talk that twisted the knife. Details only Jasmine knew, like the scar on her thigh from a childhood bike crash. Her eyes flickered. Fear? Regret?
Didn't matter.
By dawn, I'd recorded her confession on his phone, a digital noose. But Dad's body was a prison of its own. Erectile dysfunction from the stress meds, a liver pickled by single malt, and that nagging chest twinge. I ignored the cardiologist's warnings, pushing harder. Step 2. Dismantle the empire from within. As Victor, I greenlit audits that exposed the Viragen fraud, Ghostrun studies, bribed regulators. The board panicked, shareholders dumped stock like toxic waste. Hale Pharma's value tanked 40% overnight, headlines screaming, Pharma Titan in peril. Dad's allies, senators, lobbyists, started circling, demanding meetings. I fed them just enough rope. Anonymous tips to the DOJ about kickbacks. Controversial? Hell yes. I was torching jobs, thousands of them, for vengeance. But every ruined life was a brick in the wall I'd build around him. Ethan sensed the shift. We met at a dive bar in Pilsen. Murals of law virgins splashed in neon glow. He nursed a PBR, tattoos peeking from his flannel. You're changing the company, Dad. Why now? I leaned in, voice gravelly. Because I see the rot, son. The kind that ate your mother. His face crumpled, Mom. The secret Dad buried. Not an OD, but a sabotage. She discovered the trial fudges, threatened to whistleblow. Dad dosed her drink himself, called it suicide to save face. I'd suspected, but proof? In his safe, a vial label matching her talk screen. I showed Ethan the photo on my burner phone. He killed her. And framed you to keep you quiet. Tears tracked his cheeks. You believe me now? After testifying against me? The guilt hit like a freight train. I was scared but I'm fixing it. That night, I signed the pardon papers, executive privilege bullshit Dad exploited for donors. Ethan walked free of the shadow conviction, but freedom's a double-edged sword. He spiraled, parties at underground raves in abandoned warehouses, coke lines off mirrored trays. I watched from afar, Victor, the distant patriarch, but inside, it gutted me. Was this revenge, or just trading one poison for another? Lena caught wind, cornering me in the penthouse. You're not him. You're her. She lunged for the phone, but I was faster. Dad's bulk an advantage. I pinned her, breath ragged. You sold me out for a corner office. Now watch it burn. Her slap stung, controversial as hell. I deserved it, maybe. But I whispered the recording's existence, watched her crumble. Please, Jazz. I loved you.
Loved.
Past tense. I let her go, but not before planting the seed. Tell the board about Echo. Or I will. The climax brewed in the boardroom, glass walls overlooking the Chicago River churning like my rage. Shareholders revolt, proxies demanding my victor's head. I called an emergency session, Lena at my right, pale as lake fog. Ladies and gentlemen, I boomed, Hail Pharma's future demands sacrifice. I laid it bare. Viragen's deaths, the bribes, Echo's horrors. Gasps rippled. Lena bolted for the door. Security, my call, hauled her back. She's the architect, I said, voice cracking with Jasmine's fire. And so am I. The twist? I confessed to the frame on Ethan, the testimony lie. Board members whispered. One senator stood, red-faced. This is suicide. Victor? Suicidal?
No.
Cathartic. But here's where it unravels. As the feds swarmed the tower, cuffs glinting under fluorescence, I felt the flutter in my chest. The big one. Dad's heart, protesting the strain. I collapsed amid the chaos, Lena screaming my name. Jazz or Vic?
Blurred.
In the ambulance, sirens wailing down Michigan Avenue. Monitors beeping frantic. I clawed at the truth. The swap wasn't permanent. Echo's sync decayed after 72 hours. Lena's emails? Fabricated by Dad to test loyalty. The real culprit?
Me. No, wait.
Flashes. The clinic, my hand, not Lena's, injecting the blocker.
Why?
To steal his body, expose the empire from the throne. Betrayal? Mine on myself, gaslit by years of Hale poison. The ER docs pronounced Victor Hale, dead on arrival. Heart failure, stress-induced. But in the ether, as paramedics sipped the bag, I snapped back, Jasmine's body on a slab nearby, cold from the weight. Lena hovered, tears real this time. You did it, Jazz. The world's watching. Ethan burst in, free and furious. Cease. What the hell? The twist reversed. Dad's consciousness? Never transferred. It was a placebo trial. I hallucinated the swap, a neural echo from the drug. The memories in his desk? Planted by my subconscious. The guilt manifesting. I exposed nothing. The board hushed it up. Viragen trials buried deeper. Ethan got a settlement, silence clause attached. Lena? She stayed, nursing me through the breakdown. We can rebuild. But did we? I walk the streets now, Chicago's pulse mocking my hollow in. Ethan's clean, engaged to a barista with dreams bigger than our bloodline. Lena's ring glints on my finger, but trust? Shattered like that first hook.
Revenge?
I avenged ghosts, Mom's. Ethan's, my own fractured soul. Yet in quiet moments, staring at the lake from Navy Pier, I wonder, was it justice or just another Hale lie? The world debates pharmacins, but me? I'm the controversy, alive but swapped with a stranger in my skin. Who's the villain now? Waking up in my own skin felt like surfacing from a drowning dream, gasping, disoriented, the sterile tang of hospital antiseptic burning my nostrils. Nurses fluttered like ghosts in scrubs, murmuring about delirium from the contrast eye. Delirium? That's what they called 3 days of living as my father, plotting his downfall with the precision of a scalpel. Lena sat vigil by my bed, her hand cool on mine, thumb tracing the 4 bruise. You scared me, babe. Talking in your sleep like Victor, all gravel and demands. Her eyes, those hazel pools I'd drown in, held no deceit now. Or so, I told myself. But the recordings on my phone? Vanished, scrubbed clean by some Hale IT ghost. Coincidence? In our world, nothing was. Discharge papers in hand, I Ubered home to Wicker Park, The city a blur of honking cabs and jaywalkers dodging potholes. My apartment hadn't changed. Thrift store couch sagging under Ethan's duffel, takeout containers fossilizing on the coffee table. He was there, sprawled like a defeated quarterback, scrolling TikTok fails.
Sis.
Jesus, you look like hammered shit. His hug crushed the air from my lungs. All bone and unspoken apologies. We cracked open a six-pack of Goose Island, toasting to whatever the fuck just happened. He didn't buy the migraine episode line. Ethan knew me better, the sibling radar pinging on bullshit. You were ranting about mom in dad's voice. Said he killed her. I froze, beer foam bitter on my tongue. Dreams, F. Just dreams. But dreams don't plant evidence. That night, alone while he crashed at a buddy's, I tore through my laptop. Old emails from Mom's account, hacked years ago out of desperation. There it was, her last message to Dad, time-stamped the day she died. Victor, the Virigen data is falsified. 12% mortality in Phase 2, not 0.2%. I'm going to the Times. His reply, Kurt, we'll discuss tonight. No discussion. Just a tumbler of scotch laced with enough barbiturates to mimic an OD. The tox report? Buried in Hale's archives, marked confidential. I'd glimpsed it in my swap. Or so the delusion went. But delusion doesn't explain the printout tucked in my glove compartment, dated yesterday. Handwriting analysis? Dad's scrawl, forging the past to haunt the present. Paranoia coiled like the L tracks overhead. I called off work, pharma rep stick be damned, and drove to Oak Park, the family manse looming like a Gothic relic amid cookie-cutter colonials. Dad's Bentley idled in the drive, engine purring innocence. He answered the door in golf slacks and a polo, martini in hand, the picture of wasp leisure. Jasmine? To what do I owe this visit? His smile didn't reach those obsidian eyes. I shoved past, heels clicking on marble that echoed Mom's last steps. Cut the crap, Dad. Virigen.
Mom.
Ethan. He sipped, unfazed, gesturing to the study. Same oak panels, same bloodstained faint under the rug.
Seat.
Drink. We dueled with words over crystal highballs, the liquor loosening tongues, but not truths. You think I killed her? Your mother was unstable, Jazz. The drugs, our drugs, helped her cope. Lies, slick as lake effect snow. I slapped the printout down. This says otherwise. His face flickered surprise? Calculation? Where did you get that? I leaned in, channeling the victor I'd been. Doesn't matter. The feds are next. Bluff, born of rage. He laughed, low and rumbling, like thunder over the Gold Coast. You're just like her. Idealistic to a fault. But Hale blood survives. That's when he dropped the bomb. Lena.
Not his pawn, but mine.
She came to me months ago, worried about your episodes. Suggested the MRI as a diagnostic. The neural blocker? Placebo. But your mind. It fractured, didn't it? Saw me as the monster.
Fractured.
The word hung, heavy as the humidity before storm. Was it all in my head? The boardroom confession, the audits, they happened, but as Jasmine, not Victor. I'd stormed Hale HQ on day 2 of my delirium, high on adrenaline and Ativan, demanding transparency. Security escorted me out, but the viral video of Victor Hale's daughter goes rogue trended on X, forcing a PR scramble. Stock dipped 5%. Whispers of investigation. Dad's doing? Or mine, subconscious sabotage? He refilled my glass. Lena loves you, kiddo. But push this, and you'll drag us all down. Ethan's fresh start?
Gone.
Your career?
Toast.
Threats wrapped in paternal silk. I left with the printout, but the seed of doubt rooted deep. Back home, Ethan waited with pizza. Deep dish from Lou Malnati's, cheese stretching like guilt. What did the old man say? Over slices greasy as our history, I spilled. The swap dream. The revenge plot that felt realer than reality. He listened, jaw working overtime. Sounds like Munchausen by proxy, but for families. Dad gaslighting you into thinking you're crazy. Ethan's eyes, so like mine. Hazel flecked with green, hardened. I saw the safe that night. Mom's vial? It's real. He kept it as a trophy. Trophy. The word ignited something feral. We plotted in whispers, siblings reunited in the witching hour. Hack the archives, leak to ProPublica, watch the dominoes fall. But controversy brewed personal. Lena showed at dawn, coffee and croissants in tow, her scrubs rumpled from an all-night. Talk to me, Jazz. We walked the 606 trail, urban prairie blooming defiant amid concrete. She confessed her Hale ties, internship under Dad, but no betrayal. The emails you mentioned? I never sent them. Forged by my fracturing mind? Or Dad's digital fingerprints? Her hand slipped into mine, warm against the chill wind. I dosed you?
God, no.
That was the radiologist per protocol. Protocol. The word soured. We kissed under a buckthorn arch, tentative, tasting of forgiveness. But as she drove off to shift, my phone buzzed. Anonymous text, photo of Lena and Dad at Morton Steakhouse, laughing over fillets.
Timestamp. Last week.
Choose wisely, Jasmine. Family first. The decision tore me. Confront her, risk shattering the one good thing? Or bury it, let revenge fester? I chose the dark path, controversial as torching a bridge. Told Ethan we accelerate tonight. We jimmied the estate side gate, hearts hammering like bass at a South Side club. Dad's study safe. Combination his wedding date, maudlin irony. Inside, the vial, crystalline residue winking, ledgers yellowed with ink, a USB drive labeled Echo Truth. Plugged into Ethan's laptop in the trunk of my Civic, it spilled. Project Echo wasn't body swap, but memory implantation. Dad tested on me during the MRI, injecting his regrets to bind me closer, make me complicit. Mom's death. Admitted in a voice memo. She forced my hand. For the greater good. Greater good. Pharma's holy grail. We leaked it all, ProPublica drop, timed for morning commute. By noon, feds raided Hale Tower, suits swarming like ants on a picnic. Dad called, voice steel over speaker. You traitorous bitch. Ethan's next. But Ethan? He was already gone. En route to a reporter meet in D.C., the pardon's shadow lifted. Lena texted. On the news. Proud of you.
Proud.
The word mocked as sirens wailed distant. That night, alone in the apartment, chest tight, not Dad's heart, but mine fracturing anew, I swallowed Mom's old pills from the bathroom cabinet. Not lethal, just enough to blur the edges. Dawn broke gray, headlines screaming, Hale heir exposes dynasty's dark heart. Dad arrested for manslaughter, fraud. Boards scattered like roaches. Ethan hailed hero on CNN, voice steady, for Mom. But the twist gnawed. The USB? Planted. Dad's final play, framing himself to martyr the family, sue for defamation. Lena confessed over brunch at Wildberry Pancakes. He told me to monitor you. Said it was for your health. Health. Or control. I walked out, controversial choice. Love sacrificed for truth's razor edge. Revenge tasted like ash, but it was mine. Yet as I stood on the L platform, watching the brown line snake toward the loop, a final hook twisted. A burner call from Stateville. Yes? It's me, Dad. Visit soon. We need to talk about the real swap.
Click.
Hallucination? Or the echo lingering, souls entangled beyond flesh? The city hummed indifferent, and I stepped into the fray, Jasmine Hale, avenger or fool. The prison visit was a descent into fluorescent hell, Stateville's waiting room a cattle call of regrets, tattooed arms draped over folding chairs, kids fidgeting with contraband candy. I signed in as J. Hale, the guard's eyebrow arching at the name. Related to the pharma prick? Lucky you.
Lucky.
Yeah, right. Ethan had texted from D.C. Stay strong, sis. This ends it. Ends what? The cycle? Or just Dad's game of cat and mouse, with me forever the mouse. Lena's calls went unanswered, her voicemails a litany of pleas. We can fix this together, but trust was a luxury I couldn't afford. Not after that Morton's photo, pixels searing like a brand. They led me to the visitation booth, plexiglass scarred with initials, the phone receiver greasy as a handshake from Judas. Dad shuffled in, orange jumpsuit clowning his bespoke frame, but those eyes, predatory gleam intact. Jasmine, you look resolute. His voice crackled through the line, laced with that boardroom baritone. I gripped the receiver, knuckles whitening. Cut the act. The leak? Your insurance policy? He chuckled, a dry rasp like leaves in gutter wind. Insurance? Darling, it's evolution. Hail men, hails adapt. You exposed me, yes. But the narrative? I control it from here. He leaned in, breath fogging the glass. The swap you dreamed? Not all delusion. Echoes real, beta tested on volunteers, minds mapped, memories overlaid. I didn't implant in you, you access mine. Mom's death, the frame on Ethan. Truths I buried, but you unearthed them. Why fight me? Join.
Join.
The word slithered, tempting as the serpent in Eden, or the Garden of Eden knockoff that was our Oak Park lawn. I pressed. Lena. The photo. Your puppet. His smile thinned. She's ambitious, like you. Slept with the enemy to gather intel. For you, actually. Check her safe deposit box. Keys in your old charm bracelet. The visit ended with a bang. Literally. The guard slamming the door, but the hook lodged deep. Back in the Civic, engine coughing like a smoker's hack, I detoured to the Lincoln Park branch of Chase, heart jackhammering. The bracelet, silver locket from Mom etched forever, hid the key in its clasp. Box 472. Files on Lena, hail peril stubs but annotated. Surveillance for J, protect from V.
Protect.
Or play. A thumb drive. Recordings of her confronting Dad post-MRI. Victor's mind in her? Abort, Victor. She's family. His reply, family is the variable. Test her loyalty.
Test.
My life, a lab rat in their maze. Rage boiled over on the drive home, horns blaring as I weaved through rush hour snarl on the Kennedy. Controversial decision. Confront Lena, but weaponized. I tailed her Audi to her spot in Lincoln Square, a cozy two-flat with window boxes spilling geraniums. She answered the door in yoga pants and a tank, flour dusted from baking, her stress ritual, sourdough loaves like armored hearts.
Jazz.
Thank God. Her hug enveloped me in vanilla and vanilla extract, but I pulled back, drive in hand. Play it. Her face drained of color as her own voice accused Dad. You knew about Echo. Used me as bait. She collapsed onto the couch, sobs racking like aftershocks. I was scared. He promised it'd help your migraines, memory therapy, he said. When you started channeling him, I panicked. The photo? Blackmail to keep him from hurting you. Blackmail. Layers upon layers, onion of deceit peeling to reveal.
What?
Truth? Or more smoke? I sat beside her, the chasm between us a grand canyon of doubt. Why not tell me? Her whisper. Because I love you too much to lose you to his world.
Love.
The word hung, controversial as mercy. I kissed her then, fierce and forgiving, bodies tangling on the rug amid scattered throw pillows. Sex as absolution, sweat slick and urgent, her moans a confession. But dawn brought clarity. Pleasure didn't erase the ledger. Ethan flew back that weekend, touchdown at O'Hare amid a squall that grounded half the flights. We met at the Wiener Circle, char dogs loaded with neon relish, the no-man's land banter a bomb. Dad's lawyered up, O'Malley from O'Malley and Sons, sharks in pinstripes. Ethan's grin was wolfish, parole ink flexing. But the leaks? Gold. ProPublica's running a series, congressional hearings next month. Hearings. The circus-eyed ignited, controversial blaze. Whistleblowers hailed, but collateral, laid-off workers picketing Hail HQ, families of Viragen victims suing for blood. I confess the visit, the drive. He's pulling strings from a cell. Says join him. Ethan's fry paused midair. Fuck that. We're ending it. Our pact sealed over malts. Infiltrate the remnants. Dad's inner circle, loyalists hold in a River North cigar lounge, puffing Cubans and plotting countersuits. I posed as reformed Jasmine, Ethan my plus one, flashing the family name like a hall pass. The air thick with smoke and scotch, suits in Brioni nodding like bobbleheads. Victor sends regrets. I lied, sliding into a booth beside Marco Ruiz, Dad's CFO, Paunch straining his cummerbund. But the future? It's us. Booze flowed, tongues loosened. Echoes full scope, dozens swapped, elites in young shells, the poor discarded husks. Your father's genius, Marco slurred, ash flaking on lapels. Immortality for the deserving. Genius. Or atrocity. I recorded it all, hidden mic in my clutch, Kate Spade, ironic armor. Ethan played wingman, charming the bartender for refills, his Stanford polish gleaming. But the snake struck, a mole, one of Dad's ex-cons on payroll, clocked us. Bouncer beef, steroids and bad tattoos. Rousted us into the alley, fists flying. Ethan took a haymaker to the ribs, me dodging a boot to the gut. Controversial? I need the big one in the jewels. Grabbed a loose brick, swung wild. Crack, forehead split, blood hot on cobblestones. Not lethal, but enough to scatter them. Sirens wailed. We bolted, lungs burning, to the red line, adrenaline a drug better than any hail peddled. Safe in the apartment, ice packs and stitches, Ethan wheezed. Worth it. The file? Priceless, names, dates, swap logs. Leaked anonymously to the Sun-Times by midnight. Dawn brought chaos. FBI dawn raids on penthouses from Streeterville to the Gold Coast, headlines blaring, Pharma's Frankenstein factory exposed. Dad's cell got colder. Marco suicided in custody. Overdose on prison-issue aspirin. Lena showed at the ER, eyes red-rimmed. You're bleeding. Her touch on my split lip gentle, but I flinched. Stay out, Lena. This is Hale business.
Cool? Yeah.
But love in the crossfire? Casualty 1. The hearings loomed like storm clouds over the Capitol, but Chicago first. Mom's grave in Graceland Cemetery, ivy-choked stones whispering scandals of old. I went alone, trowel in pocket, unearthing the vial, real, after all, from soil I dreamed of. Lab rush, barbiturates matching her autopsy. Ethan met me at the lab, results in envelope crisp as a subpoena. It's him, 100%. Vengeance crystallized. Testify. Bury him for good. But the call came as we hugged. Lena, voice breaking. Victor's out on bail. Coming for you.
Bail.
2 mil, chump change for blood money. The penthouse assault. Dad's goons, not bouncers, ex-mercs in tactical vests, breached at 2 a.m., flashbangs popping like fireworks gone wrong. Ethan and I barricaded in the bedroom, dresser shoved against door, hearts sinking in terror. Gunfire splintered wood. I fired back with Dad's old Beretta, stashed from hunting trips in Wisconsin. Controversial shot. Winged one, scream echoing down the hall. Cops swarmed, blues and whites painting the night. Dad? Vanished, jet to Cayman whispers on police scanner. In the aftermath, safe house courtesy of feds, a bland motel in Berwyn, formica tables and lumpy beds. Ethan and I plotted the endgame. Testify. Nail him. But Lena slipped in contraband coffee and contrition. I have cords. His island bolt hole.
How?
Her Hale access, lingering like a bad habit. Trust her? The ultimate controversy. I nodded, kiss sealing the pact. Revenge's final act. Storm the lair. Souls swapped no more. Just Hales, fractured but fierce. As the prop plane droned south, turquoise mocking my turmoil, I wondered. Victory. Or just another echo. The Caymans hit like a fever dream. White sands blinding under a sun that judged no sins. Turquoise waves lapping at the illusion of escape. Our team, me, Ethan, Lena, and a Fed contact named Ruiz. No relation to Marco. Thank Christ, lean and cynical with a Glock holstered like a grudge. Private charter from Miami. $50,000 in crypto courtesy of Ethan's settlement slush fund. Controversial? Hell yes, vigilantes playing tourist, badges or not. Ruiz briefed overrun punches at a dockside shack. Hale's compound, fortified, ex-mercs on payroll. We go in quiet, extract no Rambo shit. Extract. Like Dad was a splinter, not the cancer. The island's underbelly thrummed. Expat sharks in Ray-Bans, laundering more than money, souls, via Echo's offshore labs. We rented a catamaran, sails billowing like false flags, anchoring off a mangrove fringe at dusk. Kayaks whispered to shore, salt crusting lips, mosquitoes feasting on exposed skin. Lena paddled tandem with me, her stroke sinking unnaturally. "You believe me now," whispered over the lap of waves. I nodded, but doubt lingered like humidity. The photo, the peril, Ruiz confirmed. Dad's deepfake op, AI generated to fracture us. Classic Hale. Divide and conquer. Conquer. He'd won for decades. Our turn to flip the board. The compound sprawled like a Bond villain's wet dream. Stucco villas ringed by palms, infinity pools spilling into the sea, helipad humming with idled rotors. Perimeter. Razor wire humming electric, cameras winking red. Ethan, wiry and wired on Red Bull, scaled a coconut palm for Overwatch, drone feed piping to his phone. 2 tangos, East Gate. We ghosted in, Ruiz slicing wire with bolt cutters, me jamming signals with a black market Faraday pouch. Lena hung back, medic kit slung, her neuro know-how our ace. Echo disruptor, a jury-rigged EMP to fry implants. Inside, the air con chilled like a morgue, marble floors veined black as betrayal. We cleared rooms tactical. Kitchen stocked with caviar and kale, gym with free weights Dad never lifted. Whispers of staff, Filipino maids, silent as specters, scuttled away. Then the study, Dad's sanctum, walls lined with first editions he never read, safe agape like a gutted fish. Inside, passports, bullion bars, a laptop pulsing with encrypted life. Ethan cracked it, Stanford smarts shining, files spilling. Echo rosters, swaps completed on senators, CEOs, even a pop star cheating age. Mom's file. Termination, necessary for IP protection.
IP.
Intellectual property. Her life, reduced to legalese. Alarms shrieked, betrayal's banshee wail. Mercs swarmed, tack lights slicing shadows, and P5S chattering suppressed. Chaos erupted. Ruiz dropped one with a double tap, center mass. Ethan barricaded a door with a bust of Ayn Rand, ironic shield. I dove behind a divan, Beretta barking, rounds pinging off infinity glass. Controversial kill. The second merc, lunging for Lena, I put 2 in his thigh, non-lethal, but he bled out gurgling on tile, eyes accusing. For Mom, I muttered, but the words tasted hollow. Lena zapped another with the disruptor, seizure, foam-flecked, her face ashen. Echo victim. Mind meld gone wrong. Dad's voice boomed over intercom, godlike. Jasmine.
Ethan. Stand down.
This ends in blood or bonds.
Bonds.
Family ties, knotted noose. We pushed to the master suite, door splintering under Ruiz's ram. There he lounged, silk robe over swim trunks, cigar embers glowing like hellfire, Lena's photo, real one, framed on the nightstand.
Daughter. Son.
And the good doctor. Quaint. His eyes raked us, appraising livestock. Ethan lunged, fists flying. Dad sidestepped, ex-boxer grace, countering with a hook that split Ethan's brow. You frame me, boy. I made you. The brawl spilled onto the terrace, ocean crashing below like applause. I fired warning shots into the deck, splinters flying, but Dad snatched the gun, wrist twist disarming me. Echo taught you nothing. Up close, his breath scotch-soured, veins bulging like rivers on a map. Lena circled, disruptor humming. It ends, Victor. Sync decay, your overlays on Jasmine? Reversing. Lie, but it landed. His face twitched, phantom pains from memories bleeding back. Truth twist, no full swap, but partial echoes. Dad's guilt leaking into me during the MRI, my rage echoing his. A feedback loop of familial poison. Ruiz cuffed him mid-monologue. zip ties biting into wrists. Victor Hale, you're under. Dad headbutt. Knee to groin dropping the Fed. Chaos redux. Ethan tackled, siblings piling on like wrestlers in a cage. I straddled Dad, fists raining, controversial catharsis, knuckles splitting on his jaw. For Mom.
For Ethan.
For me. Blood arced, salty on lips, but his laugh bubbled through. You think this frees you? Hale blood curses all. Lena pulled me off, disruptor pressed to his temple, zap. He convulsed, eyes rolling, echoes purging in electric spasms. Feds choppered in at dawn, Black Hawks dusting the palms, agents swarming like vindication. Dad zip-tied on a gurney, medevac to Miami extradition. Headlines global. Pharma patriarch captured in tropic takedown. Ethan and I debriefed on the beach, toes in surf, Lena bandaging Ruiz's shrapnel graze. We did it, Eth whispered, arms slung over my shoulder. Victory lap. Hearings hammered nails in the coffin, echo dismantled. Vera Jen pulled amid lawsuits tsunami. But controversy simmered, whistleblower or wrecking ball. Laid-off workers blamed me on Reddit threads. Hale airs revenge ruins lives. Lena and I rebuilt slow, therapy in Wicker Park, couple sessions dissecting the deceit. I chose you over him, she said one night, wine glasses clinking on the fire escape, city lights winking complicit.
Chose.
Past tense, but present healing. Ethan thrived, non-profit gig auditing pharma ethics, tattoo covered by button-downs. Dad? Life without parole, appeals drowning in evidence. Letter smuggled. Proud, Jasmine. The swap was always in you. But the final fracture came months later, deposition drone. A victim family, hollow-eyed mom clutching a teddy stained with tears. Your father's drug killed my boy. You profited. Profited? My commissions, pennies to Dad's empire. Guilt nod, controversial reckoning. Donate my cut?
Too little.
I testified anyway, voice steady. He built it on bones. I'm burning it down. Jury nodded, but eyes judged. As the gavel fell, guilty on all, I felt the echo fade, soul settling. Free? Or forever swapped with the monster's shadow. The courtroom in the Dirksen Federal Building reeked of polished oak and desperation, fluorescent buzz underscoring the judge's drone. Victor Hale, you are sentenced to life, without the possibility of parole.
Life.
Ironic for a man who'd chased eternity through syringes and servers. Dad stood, spine ramrod in ill-fitting orange, eyes locking mine across the gallery. No remorse, just a nod. Approval? Defiance? The gavel cracked like a vertebra snapping, and the room exhaled, reporters scrambling for quotes, cameras flashing judgment. Ethan squeezed my hand, calluses rough from his new life. Keyboard warrior for justice, not boardroom air. It's over, Jazz. Over. The word echoed hollow, like the MRI hum that started it all. Outside, Chicago winter clawed, slush sucking at boots, wind off the lake knifing through coats. Lena waited by the Picasso sculpture, mittens red as cardinal sin, thermos steaming with cider. You okay? Her kiss tasted of cloves and closure, arms wrapping me against the gale. Okay? The empire crumbled. Hale Pharma asset stripped, rebranded as Ethos Bio under federal oversight. Vera Gen victims fund seeded with billions. Echo? Black-bagged by DARPA whispers, tech too volatile for civilians.
Me?
Severance package fat enough for a down payment on a Logan Square brownstone. But sleep? Elusive, haunted by overlays. Dad's voice in dreams, murmuring mergers like maledictions. We moved in together that spring, boxes unpacked amid lilac bloom, the city thawing into tentative hope. Lena's neuro practice boomed, trauma specialist, irony thick as fog off the dust plains. Healing starts with admission, she'd say, tracing my scars, faint lines from the compound brawl. Admission. I admitted nothing at first, bottling the controversy. Was revenge righteous or reckless? Protests outside the old HQ, unions chanting, Hale's fall, workers' hell. Their signs spears of truth. One night, over Thai takeout on the new deck, Ethan visited, girlfriend in tow. Maria, barista turned activist, eyes fierce as Frida Kahlo. You saved lives, sis. But the cost.
Cost.
Jobs lost, families fractured, mirroring our own. The debate ignited then, family dinner turning forum. Ethan defending the scorched earth. Dad's poison killed thousands. We stopped it. Maria countered, soft but steel. And your hands are clean? The audits you signed as victor. Delusion or not, axed 2,000 pensions.
Signed.
In my swap, I'd authorize them, cost-cutting to fund the leaks. Guilt soured the pad thai. Lena mediated, ever the scientist. Narratives subjective. Data shows net lives saved.
Saved.
But numbers don't hug orphans. I slipped out, walked to the L station. Rails humming prophecy. Controversial truth. I was both hero and villain, swapped souls in one skin. Dad's letters kept coming, contraband via a sympathetic guard. Exhale security. Loyalty bought cheap. Jasmine, the board whispers of your testimony.
Proud.
But remember, empires rise from ashes. Ashes. Hail Phoenix, he'd quip. I burned them, but one lingered. Enclosure, a photo me. Age 10, mom's arms around, dad's shadow long behind. Caption, the real swap. Innocence for inheritance. Inheritance. Not money, but malice, passed like a virus. Ethan saw it, rage flaring. He's still playing. We vowed silence, but the hook twisted. Lena's secret drawer, stumbled upon during spring clean, emails to a Cayman attorney, post-capture. Asset transfer query. Echo residuals. Confrontation brewed over Memorial Day brunch at the Bongo Room, corned beef hash steaming like tempers. Explain. Her fork paused, eyes welling. After the compound. I accessed residuals. Not for him, for us. Cure-all potential, if sanitized.
Us.
Greed's siren song, or salvation. You sound like him. Words lashed, she recoiled. I'm not Victor. I'm trying to fix what he broke in you.
In me.
The echoes, lingering ticks, my laugh deepening mid-sentence, mergers slipping into pillow talk. Disruptor zaps helped, but the merge?
Permanence car.
The split came gentle, like fog lifting, her packing a duffel that June, rain pattering on the brownstone stoop. I love you, Jazz. But this, your war, it's consuming. Consuming. Like Dad's empire, devouring light. Ethan mediated over IPAs at Revolution Brewery, taproom buzzing with millennials oblivious. Give her space. You've both bled.
Bled.
For what? I nodded, but inside, the Avenger snarled, betrayal redux, or growth's brutal cut. Summer solstice brought the twist reversal. Dad's appeal hearing, live-streamed from Supermax. I tuned in from a rooftop bar in Wicker Park, city sprawl glittering like fool's gold. His lawyer, silver-tongued O'Malley, dropped the bomb. New evidence, Ms. Hale's delusions, induced by unauthorized echo exposure, orchestrated by Ms. Hale herself. Footage. Clinic cam, my hand, steady, not Lena's, slipping the blocker vial.
Motive?
Insurance scam, faking the swap to tank stock, claim insider fraud payout. Lies? Or buried truth? My memory fractured. Desperation post Ethan's frame. Hacking Hale servers for dirt. Dosing myself to infiltrate Dad's mind via reverse echo. And proven suicidal. The court gasped. I choked on gin. Ethan called frantic. Sis? It's bullshit, he doctored it.
Doctored.
Like Virigen trials. But doubt slithered. Journal entries, my scrawl, dated pre-MRI. End it. Become him to destroy him.
Subconscious suicide?
Or Dad's forge. Lena texted. Knew about the self-dose. Thought it placebo. Forgive. Forgive. The word, once bridge, now chasm. Fall leaves turned blood red as appeals dragged. My name dragged through mud. Pharma princess's power play. Controversy peaked. Op-eds debating. Whistleblower or wrecker? Protests flipped. Some chanting my name. Others burning Hale effigies with my face. Ethan stood firm. Maria's hand in his. We're family, blood or not.
Not.
The swap's lesson. Souls choose allegiance. Winter solstice, snow blanketing the loop like absolution. I visited alone. Dad, Frylier in jumpsuit, grinned through bars. Truth reverses, eh? You dosed yourself, my daughter, bold as brass. Confession spilled. He knew, watched via cam, let it play to bind me in guilt. Echo's gift, shared sins. Sins, ours entwined. I whispered, rot here. But leaving, the hook released, pardon for Ethan finalized my signature, not his. Ending? Debatable. Lena returned, tentative over New Year's eggnog. Rebuild. We did, slower, scarred. Ethan married Maria in a backyard bash, vows echoing moms. Dad? Died in custody. Natural causes. Aneurysm popping like a bubble of lies. I scattered his ashes in Lake Michigan. Waves claiming the curse. Now spring again, brownstone blooming. I write this, memoir or manifesto. Readers will argue. Justice served or cycle perpetuated.
Me?
I'm Jasmine Hale, swapped no more, just whole, in the tension's wake. The city pulses American dream or nightmare, and I walk it unbowed.